Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ITS128, and this is the first class of fall semester. And so I'm just going to introduce you to the class, go over the syllabus a little bit. Let me share my screen. I only have one choice. Let me put this down first. Oh, I can't. Okay, well, all right, share. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, so where's my I'll see this. Nobody needs to. Oh, I'll be back. All right, can you guys hear me? Or can someone just give me can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my Zoom died, but okay, and you're not seeing my screen, I don't think. Okay, share my screen. Okay, and I'd like to put this down. Let me put it down here, I guess. And I guess it doesn't matter. You guys, I don't think you see that up there. All right. So this is ITS128. This class is going to be combined with the online asynchronous class, and the online asynchronous class is going to be responsible for watching this video. After it's recorded, I'll post it up later this afternoon, and for everybody to watch. And of course, the advantage of signing up for the in-class for the face-to-face class is that you get to you have a right to see me every Tuesday, and that way we can help if you have any problems. In this class there's going to be a lot of work, but there's also going to be a lot of help for you to get the work done. So I'm more of a learn by doing kind of instructor. So hopefully, at first you might be doing and not understanding so much what you're doing, but as you go along, you should learn, and then in the end, you should learn the material without having to stress about it too much. And the videos are going to be posted up on a playlist here, so you can click there. There's playlists from previous semesters. Do I have them in the resources? I don't have them in there, but I will put the playlists up for previous semesters. They may help. So this is the textbooks. Make sure you buy the textbook. You can click here, and you get a I think I'm already logged in here. Okay, yeah, you click here and it comes up at $77. You can view and do the first chapter. Are these still hidden? Okay, anyway, and then hopefully when you pay, anything you've done, any work that you've done will be recorded in your version of the book. Everybody has to buy the book because when you do things, the book records it, and there's quizzes, and they're in this book, and there's lab exercises, which are little programs that you have to write, and they're auto graded, and you do that in this book also. Let me go back to the syllabus. Course learning outcomes. So I've divided up, and I've actually kind of restructured the textbook a little bit. So we have one chapter a week, and there are these participation activities that you should do in the book. There are challenge activities, which are like little quizzes, and you can take them as often as many times as you need to get all the points. And then there's these lab activities, and they're little programs that you write, and you can submit as many times as you want to, as many times as you need to to get all the points if that's what you're after. The first thing that this participation verification, everybody's got to do that. Make sure you do that. Go over to weekly engagement and click on, okay, I'm in my student account here, so click on participation verification. Now, you know, there, you get a point for every, you get a half a point for every one of these that you do up to 10 or up to 5 points. Okay, so that means that there are 16 of these, 16 weeks. So you come in here and you fill this out every week, and you have to do it during the week that it's assigned, and you just have to answer the question of, please briefly summarize what you learned about the academic material this first week of class. And it doesn't matter what you put, because it only matters that you put something. So, and what this is for is so I know that you're still engaged in the class, that's all. There can be some weeks where you put down, I'm sorry, I was too busy this week, I didn't learn anything. That's fine. So something that you might put here is, what'd you learn about the academic material? I learned about the textbook and syllabus. Whatever, doesn't even matter. You just click proceed, and then you got to click submit, and that's all you do, and you get all the points. Okay, so one important reason I need this is because the federal government now wants to track people who sign up for courses and then don't ever attend them. And we used to never really keep track of that. And it used to be okay that we just fail people who never show up, and the university still gets its money. So I suppose that's why it was okay. Well, the federal government is really cracking down on that. And so we have all this additional reporting that we got to do. It's federal requirements. And I think you have to do it in all your classes. So I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. All right. So if we go back here, there is, so why don't I just go through the textbook, because that's really all this class is. It's going through this textbook. There are these participation activities. You'll see what these are. It's pretty simple. Let me open up a textbook where I know, so if I open up this other one, Books. Sign in. It's this one. Okay, so I'm going to do stuff today where you'll actually get points. Okay, if we go back and look at the syllabus, and we look at we go down and we look at the breakdown. 15% of your grade is just clicking through the participation activities, and you'll see how easy they are. In fact, if you're really in a hurry, if it's late in the semester, and you were able to, it's possible that you breeze through some of these challenge activities, you breeze through some of these labs because maybe it comes easy for you, or maybe you've had some programming experience, but you have not clicked through the participation activities. You can really click through them pretty quickly, because they are worth 15 points. It's encouraging people who are impatient. You always learn something when you read even if you know everything. By going through the participation activities, you'll be reinforcing stuff you already know. So let's go back to the book here. Let's see. When you log in, it looks probably. Actually, I'm not sure how it looks, but this is my reporting screen. Let's just start with the first chapter. Okay, so here it's an introduction to Python. And so what you do is you click through. It's nice to read about Books, but there's, okay, so these are participation activities. It says right up here, participation activity. So you just click through this and, click, and you really should be paying attention to this. It shows a kind of a basic how program works. First, you get a y value, you get an x value, then you get a y value, and then you add the two together, and that gives you a z value, and then you output the z value to the screen, and that looks like that's there. And then lo and behold, there's a check mark here, and that means I got all the points. Okay, and so some of these are pretty, of course you should be going through and saying, how many instructions does the computer have? Oh, how many instructions does the computer have? Consider the example above. Well, it's either 3 or 4. Okay, I'd say, but let's say this is bogus. You just click show answer twice. Oh, it's 4. Okay, you put 4 here, and there I got the point. Suppose a new instruction were inserted as follows: blah, blah, add 1 to z, then put z. What would the last instruction output to the screen? Well, instead of outputting 7, I guess it would output 8. And so really you should be doing these things like that. And oh, look, I got all the answers. I got all the points for that one. Consider the instruction that where x is 10 and y is 20, then z is assigned. That's 10 plus 20 is 30. So it'd be something like 30. And let's see what happens if I put the wrong answer. I'm going to put 20. It's wrong answer. Anyway, so the answer is 30. Or you can click show answer twice. Okay, so then I got all these points, and now I got other points. So that's all it is. So for a lot of this stuff, you probably aren't going to know it, or maybe you know it a little bit, but you don't know it fully. By clicking through these participation activities and paying attention and trying to really absorb what they're trying to teach you, then you will learn it. So here's some other kinds of animations. Run the program. You can run the program. Oh, look, I already got all the points. So it's showing you kind of what goes on inside of the program. More participation activities. This is a pretty cool one where you can, it's a program to actually draw something using this turtle graphics. We're not going to do anything with turtle graphics, but that's something in Python is turtle graphics. And you can run this thing. I don't know, this runs the program, and then what you do is you fool around, you change the program to draw some draw something else. All right, that's first section. Let's find click over here. This is programming in Python more. These are kind of fun to do. A program that executes computer code is a line is a row of text, a prompt it's ready to accept commands. The interpreter is the program that executes the code, and the code is the text that represents the computer program. So anyway, so I got all the points. All right, let's find a challenge. Oh, these are nice. You can just run these, and then you can change the code over here, and it changes it over here. So if you change it to, say I make $40 an hour or something, it's going to be, twice as much. All right, so is there a challenge activity here? Okay, here's a challenge. Here's some challenge activities. In this chapter, this section, we're learning about how in your Python program you ask the user to enter in some data, and then you put it somewhere. And then when you're done doing some calculations, you display that data back out again. That's what this section is about. Let's just sort of basic input output. You see here's 3 print statements, and when they execute, they just print them one line at a time. It automatically goes to the next line. Select the statement that prints welcome. It's got to have it's either has to have matching. It has to have it has to be surrounded by matching quotes. So it's either matching single quotes or matching double quotes. And see, so all this is doing is saying which one is the right one. Well, it's got to be this one here, because this one's got mixed and this one doesn't have any. All right, so here's a type of statement that prints the following: hello. So it'd be print hello. That's it. I think that's right. Yes, it is. Okay, here. So with these participation activities, you know, if you know, you could try all kinds of stuff, and finally, if you just don't get it, you click show answer, and it tells you the answer, and then you put that there, and you get all the points. Challenge activities is not quite the same. If you don't get it right, you get another chance that with a different problem that's slightly different. And so let's see how this goes. Write the simplest statement that prints the following. Note, white blank spaces, blank line matters, so make sure it's exactly what's here. Okay, so you want to type a 3 and then a space, and then a 2, and then a space, and then a 1, a space, and then a G, you know, uppercase G, lowercase o, and then an exclamation point. So it would just be something like print 3, 2, 1, go, exclamation point, quote, end. And that's really all you need. Let's make a mistake. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 spaces in between the 3 and the 2, and I'm gonna run this, and it says, oh, I got it wrong because I had an extra space there, and it was expecting just that. And so what happens? I don't get the points. So I got to do it again. How do I do that? I think I just oh, I fix it. Simple. Let's see. I do this. No, that's not right either, because so I'm gonna fix it so it's right. And click run, and then I get all the points. There you go. And these challenge activities are, of course, they're a little bit more. All right, here's one. I'll put the following figure with asterisks. Don't add spaces after the last character of each line. You know, you can just go like this. Print, quote, quote, close. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Okay, so oh, there's actually just 2 different types. Okay, there's this one. There's this one, and then there's this one. And then I repeat it. Except for okay, so that's the program. This class goes to 3 o'clock, 1:30, no, 2:45. All right, so I got it all right. Okay, what's next? Okay, this is what you need to do if you don't want it to automatically stick a so-called carriage return at the end of every line. See, you have to do this. You have to say make end. If you don't put anything there, it'll end the line with a return. If you want it to end, if you want to end the line with something other than that, then you have to say what you want to end it with, and this is how you do it. So when you print these 3 statements like that, because you've done this, it's going to print hello there, and then a space, and then it's going to go right into printing my name is ... and then another space, and then it's going to print Carl. So that's why hello there, followed by a space there, and then my name is followed by ... followed by space, and then Carl. Okay, so that's how that works. Which pair of statements print output on the same line? Well, it would be print output on the same line. You know, I guess I have, oh, wait a minute. Oh, what? Oh, this one. The reason it's not this one is because it doesn't have quotes around the halt. It doesn't have quotes around halt, and it doesn't have quotes around no access. See, literals must be surrounded by matching quotes. Anyway, so it's that one. That's how you get the points. All right. And this is how you print the value of a variable. You put it there, but you don't put the quotes. You put the variable name. So if numcars is equal to 9, this is going to print that value, not this. This is going to print quote numcars. All right. So are there any challenges? Okay, here's one. Type the program's output. Remember that print outputs an ending new line. So press enter or return on your keyboard to indicate a new line. All right, so start. What is the program's output? Ron is nice, period. Now I'm going to make a mistake and not print the new line and see what happens. Bung. I didn't print the new line. So I click next and it's going to give me the same problem. Oh, it gives me exactly the same problem again. All right, keeps me on one. All right, so. All right, got it right. Next one. What is this supposed to be? Bob is happy. Okay, great. What's next? Ron is colon and then a space. There's a, since if you use a comma to separate things to print, it's going to put a space there. So there's going to be a space there, and then it's going to print whatever that is, and it's looks like it's 22. So I want to put 22 here, and then because there's no end part, I got to do that, and that's what that is. And next, it's this one is oh look, it's person's age right inside there. So it's going to be Ron is space 24 space years period. Enter. Oh, what did I do wrong? Okay, well you can fix that. You can type it correctly. All right. Enter the name of best friend, Marty McFly. And then so this is gonna get what the person typed in and store it into this variable here. So that's why whatever the guy types, first this prints out, enter the name of your best friend, and then it sits there and waits for you to input something. And so you type in something in, and then you hit the enter key, which means you're done typing it in. And then this is done being executed, and this is going to be, so you can watch this. First that executes, and then this creates a new variable called best friend, and the input, the executing of the input, the person types in Marty McFly, and then that gets stored in there. You see, this is the output. And then it's going to print out my best friend is Marty McFly. All right. So here we're talking about the difference between 1, 5 as two characters, the character 1 and the character 5, or talking about 15, the number 15. And inside the computer, it's two different things. It's stored two different ways. But lots of times, if the person types in the character 1 followed by the character 5, oftentimes the person does not mean two characters, together. They actually means the number 15. And so to convert between, you have this int function here. So type a statement that converts 15. Okay, well, that's what they're talking about here. They're talking about this int function, converting input types. So here you have a string called 1, 2, 3, and then you you take this 1, 2, 3, and you want to convert it to the number 1, 2, 3, and so that's what this int function does. Well, this is going to print out the same thing because because when it prints out, it's the same. So anyway, complete the code so this is equal to the entered number plus 5. Well, this is it's just n bar plus 5. New bar plus 5. Oh, I'm supposed to perform the addition? Okay. What is the input? Must be 15 plus 5. So am I supposed to say 20? Oh, wait a minute. I'm doing something wrong. N var equals. Oh, new var. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to do this. My var. I'm getting this mixed up. Plus 5. Oh, okay, correct. My var plus 5. 5 plus my var. I got these mixed up. Okay. Anyway, so now with this input statement here, like we're using this input statement here, instead of doing something like this, where you print out the prompt and then you use this input function here, instead of doing it that way, you can actually put this thing inside the input parentheses right there. So you can do this input, and then you say what the prompt is, and then this thing, and so that's gonna give you back what the guy types in, and then it's gonna be, then this int function is gonna be applied to it, and whatever whatever the result is, it's gonna be stored into this variable. And so in this little example here, you ask what's the hourly wage, and then the user types in 12, and then the user types in a 1 followed by a 2 followed by the return key, and that gets converted into the number 12, and that gets stored into there, and then this thing takes hourly wage, which was just typed in, multiplied by hours and multiplied by weeks, and it gets some number, whatever that number is, and then it prints it out. Salary is, and this is the result of the calculation. All right. Okay, so so here's a here we can actually run this program now. So this, okay, so this thing, the first thing that happens is it asks the age of a dog, and then it looks for an input, and the input is going to be right here. Okay, so and then it converts it into a number, and so that's what that is. And then it's going to take this, takes whatever you typed in after it's been converted to an integer, multiplies it by 7, and that's what this variable now contains 7 times whatever the guy typed in. And this thing is going to first print out this number, and then it's going to print out this number. So if you have it set up here where the user is going to type in 3, you put the 3 there, then you run it, and the program runs, and you see this thing prints out here, and then you enter in the 3, and then this thing prints out 3 human years is about 3 human years is about, and it doesn't print carriage return. Then it prints out dog years, which is the 21 that it calculated, and then the words dog years. You know, sometime, maybe next time, I'll show you, but you really should install Python on your computer, because if you install Python on your computer, you can actually run these programs like how they're actually going to run for the user. The problem with the way we run our programs with this system is that, and by the way, we'll learn more about that down here when we do these labs, is that you have to anticipate what the computer is going to ask, and then you have to put that there, and so it's not really interactive. This is an interactive program. First, it displays this out, and then it waits for the user to type something in. User types something in, and then it continues on and you know, does a calculation, and then it prints something back out. But here we have to say, you know, we have to say what the answer to the question is before the computer asks the question. Well, if we were to run this with Python installed on our computer, which every computer does, you just go to, it's real easy to install Python on your computer. You just go to, boy, I can show you that. I'll tell you what, I'll make a video with that. But once it's installed on your computer, you can bring up a command prompt, and you can, I'm gonna change to my desktop. I think I do OneDrive, CD OneDrive, CD desktop. And then on my desktop, I'm going to pull up an editor. What's a simple editor everybody's got? How about if I just pull up Notepad? Everybody's got something like Notepad. And I'm going to take this program right here. I'll copy it. And I'm going to paste it into my Notepad. Is it this? Paste it in here. And I'm going to I'm going to save it on my desktop. Where's my desktop? Here's my desktop. I'm going to save it here, and I'm going to call it dog years.py for Python program. Dog years.py. That's the name of the program. We can see it right. I'll do this desktop. Where is it? I didn't save it on the desktop. Oh, where is it? Well, let's see. Let me come back to the command line. Let's see if this, maybe I didn't save it on my desktop. Save as this PC desktop. All right, cancel. I don't see it on my desktop. Okay, so dir, there it is, dog years.py. So I don't know where it is. It's on my desktop someplace, hidden someplace. Who knows? I usually have more than one screen, so it's probably off someplace. So, but anyway, I can run it. I'm going to say Python dog years.py, and then it runs. This is how an interactive program really runs. It enter the age of the dog, 3 years, and then it does the calculation and prints it out. So this is really how these programs runs. They're interactive, but when we are using this system, it's not interactive. It's batch. Okay, so anyway, just wanted to point that out. Let's do this one. Read 2 numbers from the user input, then print the sum of those numbers. Okay, it says copy and paste this code. Copy and paste. This is going to read the first number and convert it into an integer. And then this is going to read the second number. And I'm supposed to print. Oh, this is going to read the second number. And then it's gonna print num1 plus num2. So this is real simple. All right, what's this one? Oh, let's just I tell you what, if I take this out here and I can put it here, I'd have to actually, if to run that, I actually have to run this. Oh, let me save it. This thing's weird. It's still called dog ears, but okay. Now it's sitting waiting for me to enter the first one. See, there's no prompt, so I'm just going to say 5, and now it's sitting for me waiting for me to enter the second one. So I'm going to say 7, and then it'll print enter, and then it'll print 5 plus 7. So of course, it's always better to put in a prompt, enter a number, you know. So now now we see a prompt, and we enter. Now there's no prompt because we did not put a prompt in the second one. We did not type anything in there, but we have to answer the question. Enter number 5 plus 10 equals 15. Okay. So anyway, enough of that. Let's try to get through these so you can get through them. You're on 1.3.
Hey, here.
Hey, how's it? No. Oh wait, yeah, a little bit here. Yeah, I know. Getting the tool. Yeah, but I teach here because otherwise the classrooms are too hot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. See ya. All right. Read 3 integers without a prompt and then print the product of those integers. So read 3 integers. I1 equals int of input. I2 equals int input. I3 equals int of input. And then we're going to print I1 times I2 times I3. Okay, so that's all it is. Now, one of the things that I don't like about this textbook is that, let's take this particular problem, for example. Okay, first of all, I don't like not having any prompts. You know, enter first number. Okay, so these are prompts. Second. Okay, so this helps. I'm going to say product is that. And so this now will make it a little bit better because it's more user friendly. So now if we run this, it's the same. Python dog ears, it's the same program name. It's going to ask for the first number, 5, and the second number is, say, 10. Third number is 15. 5 times 10 times 15 equals 750. The other thing that I don't like about this is that this can be confusing. We have this inside of this, okay? So why don't we break this out? Why don't we say, something like this. I'm going to say S1 because it's a string of characters. S1 is equal to this. Okay, so now we have this S1, and S1 is actually a string of characters. And then we're going to take that string of characters and convert it into an integer. So if we do that, I think it's easier to understand. S2 here, but here we put S2 equals that. And same thing here, let's do the same thing here. S3 equals that. And this is the converting S3 to a number. So this is a number, this is a number, this is a number, but this is a string. Okay, so let me put some spaces here. Okay, so so instead, I'll show you. So I'm going to put the sum is this: I1 plus I2 plus I3. So these are adding the numbers, the integer numbers. But what if we do S1, S2, and S3? So I'm going to do this. Let me put it up here. And I'm going to put, I think this will work, concatenation. And I'm going to do S1, S2, and S3. See what this does. We run this again. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so but when we treat these as strings, we concatenate the strings. But when we treat them as numbers, we add them. See, so the first one is the concatenation of these three things that we entered. Here, I'll do it again with bigger numbers. 2002, 5, 6, 9, 8, 20, 35, 35, 34. Okay, and so when we concatenate, see, these are strings. This when we type something in, we're typing in strings. The first time here we typed in these 4 characters, and then S2 is these 4 characters, and S3 is these 2 characters. And so when we use the plus sign, when we're talking about strings, we're sticking them on the end of each other. But when we're talking about numbers, when we use the plus sign, we're adding them. So here we're sticking them on the end of each other because these are strings that we're doing. But here we take the string and we convert it into an integer number, and it equals and we're going to call it something different. We're going to call it I1 instead of S1. And so that's the difference between using the plus sign as an operator on strings. It means concatenation. The plus sign as an operator on numbers means addition. And but what's confusing to, I think, people is when you take this and you sort of skip the step. You know, you just skip the step and you stick that in here, and you expect all you new people, all you new programmers to understand this. Well, you know, you type it in as a string, and then this thing, you put this thing around it, you wrap this thing around it. What does that even mean? You're int, and then you have these parentheses, and you know you can't even really see that. This is the it's called a method. This is the method, and then we're going to have an operand for the method, and this is the int method. Will convert anything that looks like a number but it's actually a string. Anything that looks like a number but is actually a string, it'll convert it to actually that number. Okay, and so here's, so if that's, and a plain old input is asking you to input characters. So if you just have an input there, you're inputting characters, and if you enter in 10 characters, it's a string of 10 characters, and it's not a number. You have to do this int to make it a number. Anyway, I've probably belabored that point enough. Let's move on here. This one ends up being, I guess this is done. This one is, this is challenge activities. Okay, write code that outputs the following. End with a new line. Okay, so you're gonna do print, quote, quote, close, this week is good, including the period, copy, paste, check. And that's good. Let's do a harder one. Let's do number 4. I can do that because I'm the teacher, but you have to go one by one. Write code that outputs the variable this with a new line. You're going to read that and you're going to write it back out again. It seems like it's pretty easy. Print num exams. Our test will run your program with input 2 and then with input 5. I don't know. Is this all it is? Yeah, easy. All right. So let's do the last one. Write code that outputs the variable numcars as follows. End with a new line. If the input is this, the output is this. So the input is this, the output is print. There were numcars. Cars. Easy. Yeah. Okay, you can do the rest of them. So this talks about errors. While I teach this class, lots of times I'm going to be typing stuff in and I'll run it thinking it's going to run, but there'll be an error. And during those times, I will try to clearly explain the error, because the system tells you what your error is, but you have to know how to read what the system is telling you. And that is kind of hard. That can be kind of hard. Here, for example, we have a program with a syntax error. It's got a print statement right after this. In fact, we take this here, copy it over here. Paste, save it. And now we try to run it. We get this thing. That looks a lot like this. Let's see, where is it? File, and this is the file. And here it's called that. On line 7, that it's got that, saying that. It's here the error is different, invalid syntax. Okay, here it's actually pointing to the P. That's really where the error occurs, because what's happening is the Python interpreter goes along here, reads all this, and then it expects to be done, because that's a perfectly fine statement, doesn't need anything after that, could have a comment after that, but then there should be a return after that, and there's not. There's a space, and then there's another something else. Well, whatever that is, it's not there. It shouldn't be there. In fact, we can put anything there, and it's going to print out the same error. I could put blah. It's probably going to give me the same error. Yep, same error. See, invalid syntax, invalid. It doesn't know what that. There shouldn't be anything after that. So it sees that, says I don't understand this, prints out a syntax error and it quits. Okay, so that's how these error messages work. That's error messages. Good coding practice. Run code frequently to avoid many errors. When you're writing your code, you should learn to just write a little bit of code, then run it to see that each time you add code, your program still works. And you add a little bit of code, and you see if it runs and see if it executes the way you think it should execute, because of the code you added. And that way, when something doesn't work, you know that it was just the last thing you added. It was just in the last thing you added that doesn't work, because it worked before that. And so that's why this taking, baby steps is really helpful. These are some different types of errors. It'll tell you that if you just type something wrong, it doesn't understand it. In Python, you have indentation errors. Indentation matters. It's how you know if you're inside of a block or not. A value error, it's like if you try to convert something into an integer and it's not a number, it's something else. This is like try to program like if you try to use a variable, if you try to use a variable in some expression and the variable hasn't been defined yet, it doesn't have a value, probably it means you spelled it wrong. So if you see a variable on the right side of an equal sign, then it's probably wrong, because if it's on the right side of an equal sign, it means it's got a value already. All right, so those are the different kinds of errors. And here is a challenge. We're up here on errors. So these are pretty simple. Let me go to these labs here. I noticed that these, did I intend to, I think I must have intended to. I notice I've got hidden labs here. Let me see if they are included in the, where's Lolima? Does it tell me grade book? Oh, I know. Okay, participation doesn't tell me that. Let me go back to here. Tell me how. Oh, it's labs. How many labs are in? Oh, there's 5 labs. Okay, I guess I did not. I guess I intended to hide to not include them, but now that they're already included, I'll make them visible. And I tell you what, I'll do some of these. We got a little bit of time left. I'm gonna do some of these labs. This one, and then this one, and this one. All right. The labs are the ones where you get the most points, and they're the hardest ones because they don't give you any hints. They just tell you if it's right or wrong. Well, they'll tell you why it counted as wrong. But okay, so let's start out with 1.21, because here these just explain how Xylabs work. While the Xylab platform can be used without training, a bit of training may help some students avoid common issues. Quick run program, the output is wrong sometimes. Okay, let's input, you got to put the input there. Submit mode, for me, in this, I've got it set up so you can submit it as many times as you want, as you need to. There's no limit. Other instructors that use this type of textbook may put limits on it, but it's against my philosophy. It kind of goes against taking baby steps. Okay, so what are you supposed to do here? Okay, this reads in a number from the user, and then it takes the number and adds it to itself, and it says it's squared. Well, the error is you're supposed to multiply these two numbers together. You're not supposed to add them. So you're supposed to change this to an asterisk. Asterisk means multiply. So we can run it as many times as we want in development mode. So let's say I put in the number 10 and I run it. So 10 is going to go in for that. And I run it and it outputs 20. And that's wrong. It should output 100 because 10 times 10 is 100. So now if we submit it and we submit for grading, it's wrong. So let's see what it tells us. It's wrong. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's correct. Oh, look, it expected a return there. So I got an error because this should actually not be there, I guess. Okay, so what this is supposed to show you. Here it put in 12 and it got the wrong answer. It's telling you, okay, first you should fix this one. And so I'm going to fix that one. I'll put times. And then I'm going to run. Then I'm going to submit for grading. And I still didn't get any points. So anyway, I got to get rid of this. And then I should get all the points. And it tests with a 2, tests with a 12, tests with a -5. It got the return characters that I was looking for. And so I submit for grading and I got all the points. All right, so what's the next one? Here it talks about this interleaved output. It prints out that you want the user to enter something. It's like you don't really. We could just as easily. Oh, never mind. So here you ask the user to enter X, and then here this waits for the user to type in what X is. This converts whatever they typed into an integer, stores it in a variable called X, and then this prints out the X because in the instructions for the lab it says it should look like this. And so really this is the program printing this out. This is the user typing in the 5, and then this is the program printing this out. Okay. And the trouble with students sometimes is they see this and then they think they have to print out the 5 when really that's the user entering in the 5. So here this shows that as an example. See, so if you run this, I'm just going to put it in development mode, do a 5 there, and so this is what it outputs, but we don't really want it to print the 5 here. This is the 5 that's so if we actually submit this, then we're going to get it wrong. And see, it does not expect that. So you're not supposed to have this here. You can comment it's out. Now it's a comment, so it's not, it doesn't count. And now this should be right. See, so this is correct. So this is something I like to do. I'm reluctant to delete anything out of my program. If I don't want this statement to be used anymore, I'll just put the comment symbol in front of it. So this makes this whole line, the rest of the line, be a comment, just like this does here, but this one's. That way, as I'm coding along, if I come back later and I say, gee, why didn't I have that in there? And then I see, oh, I had it in there, but I commented it out. So I kind of remember what my thinking was. All right, this is another kind of Syllabus kind of programs that we have, and I can't remember if I have any of these large ones. I may have one. But anyway, it tells you to complete stuff in steps. So basically, this is an example. It says, yeah, it promotes incremental development. So first it's going to say, do this, and then it's going to say step 2, and then it's going to say step 3. And so this tells you to do that. And so first it's going to say print step 1 complete, close, and submit mode. It's going to be wrong. Didn't do it. Oh, I'm sorry. Pressing the wrong button. So anyway, see, it didn't do 2 or 3. So you know, you just have to finish it. And so now I got all the points, 10 points. All right, let's do the next one. Now we're just supposed to write a program that prints out hello world. For all labs, end with a new line unless otherwise stated most of the time. So here you're just supposed to do print hello world. Print hello world. Exclamation. Close quote. And that's all you got to do. Can't believe it. You're going to get 10 points for this. Yeah, well, look at that, 10 points. Easy, easy. All right, what's the next one? Write a program that takes a first name as input and then outputs a welcome message to that name. So if Pat is the input, display this out. Okay, so here they start you out. The username is Pat, and then they want you to type print hello quote comma username comma and welcome to CS Online exclamation point. Close the quote, close the parentheses. And so let's put some code in here, Fred. And if we run the program, we see that it says hello, Fred, and welcome to CS Online. And so I think it's all correct. So I'm going to click submit mode and click submit for grading. And it looks like we got all the points. Tried it with Pat, tried it with June. Okay, this last one. Now, I'm normally not going to do all of the labs at the end of the chapter. I'll always do at least one, but I'll usually want to leave one where you have to do like almost all of it yourself. Okay, and of course I don't care if you talk to your classmates. I mean, don't give each other answers, but it's good if you help them. If a classmate is stuck, you want to give hints. Be my guest. That's good. Working with others. That's a very important thing to know how to do. All right, so this one here is there are these Mad Lib kinds of exercises, and what this is it asks you for 4 words in this one. It asks you for 4 words, and then you're supposed to like complete a short story in unexpected, fun and hopefully funny ways. So in this example, you read in 4 words. you're going to read in a first name, and then you're going to read in some location, and then you're going to read in some integer number, and then you're going to enter in some plural noun. So so let's say you enter in Eric for the name, Chipotle for the location, 12 for the integer, and cars for the plural noun. And then it's going to output the name, and then it's going to output went to, and then it's going to output the place, and then it's going to output to buy, and then it's going to output the integer, and then it's going to output different types of, and then it's going to output the plural noun. So if somebody enters in, instead of Eric, Chipotle, someone enters in Brenda, Philadelphia 6, and Bells, then it's going to output Brenda went to Philadelphia to buy 6 different types of bells. Okay, so that's all we got to do. Oh, look, it even tells us the print statement. So we have to, we ask the user what the first name is. That's the first one that comes in first. It's this thing here. This is going to equal something. And then this is going to equal something. And then this is going to equal something. And then this is going to equal something. And what's it going to equal to? It's going to equal just an input word. I don't have to convert it to an integer or anything. I don't really have to even convert this to an integer because I'm just going to print it back out again. Okay. So I don't think it'll ding me. I don't think it'll ding me if I don't convert this to an integer. Let's see if it does. Okay, it's input, and this is input, and this is input, and I'm just going to leave it a string. And I think that might be all we got to do. Okay, let's take this here. I'm going to copy this. I'm wasting time now. What time is it? I'm almost done. And I'm going to paste it in here. And so this is my program now, where first I ask for a first name, and I'm going to say enter a name. And I'm going to say enter a location. And I'm going to say enter a number. I'm doing stuff that you don't have to do, but I'm just doing stuff to show you, to see that it understands, just to, you know, so you understand it. Enter a plural noun. And if we run this, save it, and we run it, then this is what it looks like. Run. Enter a name, Mary. Enter a location, I don't know, Minneapolis. Enter a number, I don't know, million. Enter a plural noun, I don't know, cars. Mary went to Minneapolis to buy 1 million different types of cars. All right. So anyway, so that's what we have here. Let's see if this is, let's see if I get this right. So of course, they don't want you to put the prompt. So I'm going to click submit, and I'm going to click submit for grading. Oh, look, I got all the points. All right. Well, that's all I needed to look at. Some of these other ones, computer tour, that's good. Development environment. Yeah, this other stuff is stuff that you might already know. Computers in general, language. Oh, this is the language, the history of Python, kind of interesting. Why white space matters in Python. It's different than other languages. So anyway, I think that's all I have for chapter 1. Does anybody have any questions? Does this look like it's going to be that hard? Is this in-person class too? Yes. So the problem with the in-person class part is that the air conditioners don't work in this building, and so and since this is such a small class, I'm going to be doing this every day. I'll come here and this is my office. It's got enough room for a couple people. The way it's situated, I'm sort of, that's my desk over there, and I'm sitting in on the table. So if you'd like to meet during this time, I'm going to come to KCC and we can meet. But I'm always going to have this Zoom session because I'm going to record this for the people that are taking the online version. Okay, and in fact, the people who are taking the online version, they're welcome to come also. You'll notice that when you add the number of seats available for the 2 sections, when you add them together, it equals 22. So this is really one class, but I'm offering the face-to-face part because we have to start doing that again because for international students, they need to have classes that meet face-to-face, and they can be hybrid. So this class sort of qualifies for that. And also, some people just like to have help and have help in person, and I get that completely. So that's what the face-to-face part is. But and when the air conditioning gets fixed, of course, then we'll have class every day down in the lab. And in fact, maybe the first day that the air conditioning gets fixed, it will be pizza day. Okay, so if you come to class that day, and the online people are certainly welcome to come too. And so that'll be the inauguration of an actual in-class. But right now, Copico is like last on the list for fixing the air conditioners, and so I don't think we have much choice about that. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so I will. So I'll post this up in the next couple hours. I'm going to pack up and do this at home, and I will see you next Tuesday. If you have any questions or anything in between, feel free to email me. I should tell you, as far as my policy on handing stuff in late, because everything in this class is auto-graded, then I don't need to take off points if you hand stuff in late. Okay, I'm still going to have those quote deadlines, and when I post the grades up, if you're behind, there'll be zeros there. But as soon as you do them, just keep on doing them in Zybooks. As soon as you do them, then they will be up. It'll be updated with La Lima, and I don't take off any points for handing stuff in late. So just as long as at the very end you got everything handed in, then that's just fine. It's not good to wait till the last minute because it gets pretty tough. You have to learn programming over at least a period of time for it to really sink in. And there's no extra credit either. Extra credit is if you have lost points or didn't hand something in time and you didn't get the points, so there's extra credit. Well, in this class, just go back and do the stuff. Okay, so you can get all the points for everything up until the very end. Okay, so in this class you don't need. I don't need that extra credit because you can just still go back and do your stuff. All right. So if there are no more questions, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.